White-tailed deer. One of the most prosperous big livestock animals on the planet, adaptive and strong, a species that comprises millions of years of fine-tuning. Evolutionary whitetails inhabit the edges of both daylight and night. Deer utilize a thorough understanding of their within range in addition to keen senses to avoid humans' predators. Two whitetails go forward on their strong legs. The safe they can jump up to 8 barriers. Feet tall deer can sprint at about 40 miles per hour. Their graceful athletic movements allow them to quickly evade thick forests filled with trees and saplings, and where they hide among thickets even though they only briefly show. The speed of deer is unknown. For their tenacity, worn out and alone, mature bucks of the species frequently choose to hide from their adversaries. Their antlers and brown coat converge nicely with the recent muted shades. Autumn whitetails in America have made adaptations to an array of different habitats and climates. Animals of the edge, deer thrive in regions where dark woodlands and open farmland are alternative covering. Whitetails take the lead most of the time, living quietly, but rutting bucks drove out in late October. By elevated testosterone levels are scavenging. Ferocious warriors with bloated necks. Powerful men fight any buck that crosses with antlers. Their course conversing in a language that is not one's own. Deer are intelligent. Powerful bucks mark aggressively leaves and trees with smell in their jurisdiction. Music. The majority of the whitetail's behavior is dictated by instinct. Behavior, however, these perceptive creatures can also study and adjust to the existence of people. Despite the fact that they might live for 20 years, there are not many deer in intensively hunted areas ever arrive 50% of that age. The buck's gorgeous antlers imply that he has attained his peak as a whitetail a little over 6 years ago, when he was born. Final spring in the country's northern range of whitetails. The peak season is in late May and early June. The adoring phase, the deer's high birth rate, is not yet known. Another rationale for the sake of the species' survival: at the conclusion of a lengthy pregnancy just over 7 months, a doe disbands her circle of female friends and seeks a quiet location to bear modern phones. Whereas some women do give delivery while standing, she's chosen to recline. Labor could take hours. The fawn enters once the hooves appear. The globe quickly at birth, it weighs 4 to 8 pounds. A healthy adult doe commonly carries twins, periodically triplets. She diligently washes and dries her fawns. This deepens the mother-child relationship. And children, baby deer, mature in just a year. Time old, these farms test their shaky foundations. They must go from the delivery room by day's end. The fragrant freshness might entice predators. One mother doe licks the back of her fawn to encourage bowel and sucking motions. Her twins are very hungry, and breastfeeding starts soon after birth. The condensed milk in the doe is significantly higher in minerals and lipids than cow's milk. The mother doe has risen in a matter of hours. Dried her twins, who are growing weight quickly. Soon, with strength, she will lead them away from a birthplace never to come back. Several creatures can be found in late April, maintaining their young. The female and male cardinals both eat ravenous nestlings. A bald eagle makes its call on a nearby lake. Single eaglet, she is nested in the fish like a small piece. Identical white pine tree for nearly 10 years. Music. These Canadian geese have thrived. 8 fresh goslings have hatched. Within a year, young geese leave their nest and adhere to their parents. All during spring. Fawns do not take their young on trips. Mother, they are too old to outrun their opponents and must look for safety in a single bed. Sight young deer automatically flee from danger. Possible dangers and depend on this covert activity all of their lives. Young fawns emit a tiny amount of any aroma. It protects them against predators akin to coyotes, black bears. A fawn typically sleeps apart from its sibling, another successful means of surviving even now. mature deer scan the air for danger. The fawn's fur can have up to 300 white patches. Coat offers ideal concealment in the forests that are speckled in sunlight. Here it is patiently waiting for hours before mother returns to nurse the baby. Does not go too far from the source of mobile devices. This method guarantees the security of the phone, yet does not make them stand out. Usually, the mother doe returns around. She feeds her twins 4 times each day. Each fawn consumes approximately 8 ounces of per feeding milk. In 2 weeks, their weight will have doubled. And 3 by the month's end. A curious creature on the woodland floor. A chipmunk discovered a shed of deer antlers from the winter before. It is a plentiful source of trace minerals. Slowly vanishes. Increased daylight in early April increases the hormones released in male adults, and they start producing a fresh batch of antlers, forming as antlers with bulbous knobs develop over their 5-month growth. Quickly, it's one of nature's most prolific. Extraordinary changes by the conclusion of the month. This buck's antlers expanded much in circumference, and he has increased the length by 4 inches. Every beam. Early in May, brow tines had appeared. The fresh antlers nearly doubled in size. Antler development quickens to several weeks' worth of inches by late spring. Moreover, this older man is replacing his chilly hair with a light red summer coat. It's now mid-June and antlers are growing. Show off their unique form and shape. Silky hair skin that is encased velvet. These bony extensions are one of the tissues in the body with the animal kingdom. By July 31st, most bucks have increased in value. Last tines on their racks. The antlers on this are currently in late August. The 9-point buck has finished its seasonal pattern of growth a further year. Hoofed ruminant mammals are forming. Deer family members lost an eye. The Cerbite family is a member of the order of the Artiodactylia, which stands for all even-toed ungulates or mammals with hooves using a certain type of food. The order features pigs, hippos, and giraffes. Livestock, camels, and ships. More latest data indicate that members of the order also include Cartesians. Because they are descendants of the even-toed tens of millions of years ago, ungulates existed. The majority of Teri species have a basic group of qualities. Each foot has 2 hooves and has 4 chambers. Long in the stomach and short in the spine. Tails and a typically lighter colored coat changes from brown to red to gray. They both have a penchant for the twilight. Is the worst, but the most noticeable and prominent features is the set of a head with antlers. This substantial decoration shows a distinct separating the men from the females. Females deer are sociable creatures that often assemble in tiny feeding groups. Mate searching and defense in the most highly populated areas. Truly enormous herds depends on how much food is available, and the populations make up. Several species migrate, including the will go hundreds of miles. Herd breeding season for deer is now. Every year for a brief period of time. Most organisms aim to reproduce. A method called polygyny, where a single powerful man will have several women as partners. Few creatures like to be in the open monogamous as a result of potential rivalry. Fearless men often display violent behavior patterns during the breeding season as they make an effort to protect their lands and friends from conceivable rivals because of exploitations for profit. Numerous deer species numbers declined in early to mid-20th century, however, owing to efforts to conserve populations have partially recovered. According to estimations, the population of 30-year-old common white-tailed deer million. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.